Hello students. Now today we are going to start our new lecture series in strength of material. Till now we have started the lecture series of thermodynamics, along with I have started the strength of material lecture series. तो अब हम लोग thermodynamics और strength of material को साथ में लेके चलेंगे, because both these subjects are very important as far as your mechanical engineering is concerned. Now I would like to explain that suppose we have a solid, and on this solid we apply forces. Okay, some external forces is applied to a particular solid, and we know that as a mechanical engineer we have to design the machines, different parts, structural members, and the working of this machine has to be done, carried out in a proper manner. Okay, so under the action of forces, the member of machine, structural members does not break. Okay, this is our prime motto being as a mechanical engineer. So what comes under consideration? Under the action of the force, the solid material does not break and it works properly. Okay. So in strength of material, basically the subject is the strength of material. So we check the mechanical properties of the material. How the mechanical properties changes under the action of the force, any external force. This force can be of any type. It can be your axial force, it can be your bending, like in beams. बीम में जब हम लोग लोड लगाते हैं तो बेंड करती है बीम. ओके, इट कैन बी टॉर्सनल, जिसमें कि हमारा ट्विस्ट होगा. जब हम किसी भी बार पे, किसी सपोज करिए ये बार है, इस बार पे हम लोग टॉर्सन लगाएंगे तो ये ट्विस्ट करेगा, तो ये ट्विस्टिंग मूवमेंट उसमें जनरेट होगा. तो अंडर द एक्शन ऑफ द डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ द फोर्सेस, मटेरियल का डिफॉर्म हो रहा, उसकी क्या क्या प्रॉपर्टीज किस तरह से चेंज हो रही, मीन्स द बिहेवियर ऑफ द मटेरियल हैज टू बी एनालाइज्ड. तो दिस विल बी कैरिड आउट इन द सब्जेक्ट स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल. ओके, तो नाउ द बिहेवियर ऑफ द सॉलिड अंडर द एक्शन ऑफ द फोर्स इज बेसिकली कैरिड आउट इन द टॉपिक नेम्ड एज मैकेनिक्स और अप्लाइड मैकेनिक्स, इंजीनियरिंग मैकेनिक्स. Okay, in which we study the behavior of the solid, how the solid behaves under the action of any external forces. Okay, now this engineering mechanics is divided into two parts on the basis of the solid. Okay, so first one is your rigid bodies, and other one is your deformable body. So as the name itself explains, what is the rigid body? Rigid body is basically a body which does not deform under the action of any external forces, okay, or any external load. Means suppose this is any of the rigid body, so their molecules are very closely attached to each other, and these molecules are bound together under the action of the cohesive force. The value of this cohesive force is too much so that it can be break. It cannot be break. It cannot be break. Means the displacement of the molecule does not changes under the action of any forces. Means the strength of this material is very high. The strength is very high. मीन्स हम लोग इसको अप्रोक्सीमेटली इनफाइनाइट स्ट्रेंथ का मानते हैं. ओके, तो दिस बॉडी डज नॉट डिफॉर्म, इट डज नॉट डिफॉर्म. ओके, तो इन दिस रिजिड बॉडी वी एनालाइज द मोशन. ओके, अंडर द एक्शन ऑफ द फोर्स ऑब्वियसली द बॉडी मूव्स. ओके, सो वी डू द एनालिसिस पार्ट ऑफ द मोशन in two fashion. One is your kinematics and other one is your dynamics. Okay, so now what is the kinematics and what is the dynamics? So these are nothing but to analysis of the motion of the rigid body under the action of the any external load or forces. तो काइनेमेटिक्स में बेसिकली हम लोग क्या करते हैं, काइनेमेटिक्स में ज्योमेट्रिकली मूवमेंट ऑफ द बॉडी वी कंसीडर, ओके, विदाउट कंसीडरिंग द फोर्सेस एक्चुअली which is responsible for the motion of that rigid body. So we don't consider the forces. So in kinematics, the motion of body is analyzed without considering the forces responsible for motion of the body. ठीक है ना? तो ये एनालिसिस जो पार्ट हम लोग करते हैं बेसिकली काइनेमेटिक्स का, ये हम लोग अभी पढ़ेंगे काइनेमेटिक्स ऑफ मशीन्स में, जिसमें हम लोग डिफरेंट मशीन के मेंबर, जैसे 4 बार मैकेनिज्म है तो 4 बार के मेंबर्स का मूवमेंट होगा, उसके हम लोग वेलोसिटी डायग्राम, एक्सीलरेशन, ये सारी चीज़ों को कैलकुलेट करते हैं, उसका डिस्प्लेसमेंट विदाउट कंसीडरिंग द फोर्सेस, विदाउट टेकिंग कंसीडरेशन ऑफ दैट फोर्सेस. ओके, तो दिस पार्ट वी विल डन इन काइनेमेटिक्स ऑफ मशीन, और शॉर्ट फॉर्म में हम इसको कॉम कहेंगे. ओके, नाउ द सेकेंड वन इज योर डायनामिक्स ऑफ मशीन. तो इन डायनामिक्स ऑफ मशीन वी एनालाइज द मोशन, analysis of motion of body will be done while considering the forces. ठीक है ना? तो इसमें हम लोग फोर्सेस को कंसीडर करते हैं कि कौन सा फोर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल है मोशन के लिए, उस फोर्स को हम लोग कंसीडर करेंगे और उसके बेसिस पे हम लोग एनालिसिस करते हैं, और इससे फिर हम लोग उसके वेलोसिटी, एक्सेलरेशन और अदर जो भी चीज़ों की हमको रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, तो दैट विल बी डन इन डायनामिक्स. और ये पोर्शन हम लोग पढ़ते हैं डायनामिक्स ऑफ मशीन्स में, दैट इज इन डॉम. Okay, so the motion of the rigid body. So the motion of the rigid body under the action of any forces will be categorized into these two different types of the manner. Okay. Now come to the deformable body. When the load is applied and the solid is your deformable body. So what does mean of the deformable body? So deformable body is nothing but it is the body which will be deformed under the action of any force. The body will deform. Okay, so its name itself suggests that the body will deform under the action of any external load. The load can be of any type. Okay, so the analysis of that deformable body is nothing but this comes under the action of strength of material topic. Strength of material. Some says that it is mechanics of material. So mechanics of material, strength of material, anything you can say. So this is the strength of material. So now in our strength of material subject, now we are going to analysis of the deformable body under the action of any force. Okay, so now let's start with strength of material. And as we know that strength of material is very important subject. ओके, मोस्ट ऑफ द इंजीनियरिंग एग्जाम में कोई भी अगर है, वो चाहे सिविल सर्विसेज का एग्जाम हो, चाहे गेट का एग्जाम हो, अराउंड आई थिंक 10 गेट के एग्जाम में 10 to 15 20 मार्क्स के करीब आपका स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल से कवर अप होता है. तो नाउ कम टू द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो नाउ सी, सपोज this is a body, that is the deformable body. So whenever now in the throughout the entire topic of the strength of material, whenever we are using the word body, तो body means it is a deformable body because we are going to analyze the deformable bodies. ठीक है ना? तो सपोज करिए अब ये कोई एक बॉडी है और इस बॉडी के ऊपर हमने कोई एक एक्सियल टेंसल फोर्स को अप्लाई कर रखा है, ठीक है। अब जब ये बॉडी के ऊपर हमने एक फोर्स को अप्लाई किया तो क्या होगा, तो द बॉडी विल बेसिकली फीलिंग some internal resistance will develop to make the body is under equilibrium condition. Suppose अगर अपन AB सेक्शन पे इसको कट करते हैं बॉडी को, और इस AB सेक्शन पे देखें तो इस बॉडी के दो पार्ट होंगे, दिस इज योर AB सेक्शन, here we are taking that F force to balance this force, otherwise what will happen, अगर ये बैलेंस इसको नहीं करेगा तो the body will move to this particular side if we cut it. So it balance, suppose this is FINT, here we have applied the load F, so it is FINT, which will basically balance to make the body into the equilibrium position. Okay, so what we see, under the action of any external load, the internal resistance developed within the body. Okay, and this internal resistance is basically responsible for the development of the stresses, because the body comes under the stress. और स्ट्रेस के मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में सब इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस डेवलप हो गए, तो वो इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस क्या होंगे, वो उसको बॉडी को स्ट्रेस कंडीशन पे ले आएंगे. ओके, सो स्ट्रेस इज नथिंग बट इट इज डिफाइंड एज इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस डिवाइडेड बाय क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया. So this FINT is nothing but it is the internal resistance developed due to the external load. So FINT, what FINT? Internal resistance developed due to the external load within the body. ठीक है ना. So what is stress? I have told you that stress is nothing but it is the internal resistance developed divided by the cross sectional area. And what is this internal resistance? If you see here, then F internal, this internal resistance is nothing but it is the external load or applied load, and this value is F. So we can say that stress is nothing but it is equal to applied load divided by the cross sectional area. Here A is nothing but it is cross sectional area. So the applied load per unit cross sectional area is known as your stress. Okay, what is the unit of this stress? The unit of this stress is nothing but it is the Newton per meter square. F Newton, area is meter square, so it is Newton per meter square. ये यूनिट होती है स्ट्रेस की. अच्छा, 1 न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर को हम लोग 1 पास्कल भी बोलते हैं, और ये याद रखिएगा, यूनिट कन्वर्जन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सपोज करिए समटाइम्स इट गिव्स यू एज 1 न्यूटन पर mm स्क्वायर. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट इट इज 1 न्यूटन पर 10 raised to the power -3 होल स्क्वायर मीटर स्क्वायर. So this becomes 10 raised to the power 6 Newton per meter square. This becomes 10 raised to the power 6 Pascal, or 1 Newton per mm square is also known as 1 megapascal. Because in most of the time in engineering we will be given the value of stress in the terms of megapascal. So you have to consider that megapascal is nothing but it is Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, you can convert the unit of the stress in different system. Like CGS system में हम उसको चेंज कर सकते हैं, MKS सिस्टम में उसको चेंज कर सकते हैं. तो ये आपको देख लेना है, यूनिट कन्वर्जन की गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए एग्जाम में. ठीक है. तो अभी हमने देखा कि जब किसी बॉडी के ऊपर हम लोग एक्सटर्नल लोड अप्लाई करते हैं तो वो एक्सटर्नल लोड की वजह से इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस डेवलप होगा और ये इंटरनल रेजिस्टेंस की वजह से आपका स्ट्रेस डेवलप हो जाएगा। अब ये स्ट्रेस कितने तरह के होंगे, टाइप्स ऑफ द स्ट्रेसेस। Now come to the types of the stresses. As we know that stresses is what? Stress is nothing but it is the force per unit cross sectional area. So now here two things comes into the picture. One is force and other thing is your cross sectional area. Okay. So when the force and area means that's the cross sectional area, force and area are perpendicular to each other, they develop normal stress. What does it mean? It means suppose if this is your force applied, okay, and we are considering this section. This is something like your body, okay, and this is the application of the force, and we are considering this section. So at section A, B, C, D. So if you check that this is the A, B, C, D section, so here the force is this, and this is the equivalent force. So this is F. So the stress developed in the section A, B, C, D in this section is nothing but it is normal stress. ओके, देखिए एक्चुअल में क्या है कि फोर्स एंड क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया ये दोनों हमारी वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज हैं, तो इनका डायरेक्शन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एज वेल एज द मैग्नीट्यूड, ओके, फॉर वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज। तो इसलिए हमको ये देखना होगा कि ये फोर्स और ये क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया जिसको हम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं ये दोनों के बीच का एंगल क्या है। तो अगर ये परपेंडिकुलर है तो ये नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस को डेवलप करेंगे। सपोज करिए समटाइम्स इट मे बी पॉसिबल एक ब्लॉक के ऊपर हमारा ये दूसरा ब्लॉक रखा हुआ है, दूसरा सरफेस है, ये दो सरफेस हैं हमारी, और सपोज करिए कि इसको हम लोग F फोर्स से ऊपर की तरफ खींच रहे हैं इस वाले ब्लॉक को। तो ऑब्वियसली अगर इस ब्लॉक को जो हमारा ये ऊपर है जिसको ब्लॉक नंबर 1 और 2 मैं दे रहा हूँ, तो ब्लॉक नंबर 1 के सरफेस को अगर आप कंसीडर करें तो आप देखेंगे कि इस पर एक फोर्स ऐसे आ रहा होगा और एक उसके पैरेलली अपोजिट एंड इक्वल में इसको बैलेंस करेगा। अब इस सेक्शन पे जो ये सेक्शन है ना, तो वी आर सीइंग दैट कि दिस फोर्स इज नथिंग बट इट इज पैरेलल टू दिस क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया। तो हियर व्हेन फोर्स एंड area is that the considered area where we have to calculate the value of the stress. So when the force and area are parallel to each other, the stress developed are known as shear stress. ओके, तो जब नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस होगा तो फोर्स और एरिया एक दूसरे से 90 डिग्री एंगल पे होंगे, और जब shear स्ट्रेस डेवलप होगा तो ये फोर्स, अप्लाइड फोर्स एंड द क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया, this cross sectional area, they are parallel to each other. Okay, now when a external force is applied to a body, obviously we know that it is a deformable body, then the body will deform. Okay, so how the deformation takes place? What is basically deformation? So deformation is nothing but this can be categorized into two forms. The one is change in dimension. Dimension of body, okay, and other one is the change in shape of the body. What does it mean कि change in dimension and change in shape? तो अब देखिए, suppose कि we have a bar, a cylindrical bar or cylindrical rod is there, and we are applying a force F. Okay, so under the action of this force, what will happen? Obviously, the length of the bar will increase. This is the initial stage, this is the final. So now what we are seeing that its dimension has been changed. Obviously, the body has been deformed because its dimension has been changed. But initially as well as finally, the body shape does not change. It is similar. Okay, it is similar. That is the cylindrical. Now come to the another example. Suppose this is a rectangular block and we are applying a load on this. Okay, then what will happen? One side is fixed, then what will happen? Obviously, once we applied the load over here, then this upper side will try to move in a forward direction while the lower side is in a fixed position. So it will be something like this, while the earlier position was something like this. Got my point? So what we are saying that the position earlier it was a rectangle or a square, whatever, and then it has been turned into parallelogram. Okay, so the shape, now the shape has been changed. So from these two discussion you find that this phenomena is responsible in shear stress because force is parallel to the applied x area, so shear stress, and this phenomena develops basically normal stress. Okay, so what we can conclude from here? We can conclude that it is the normal stress which is responsible for the changing in the dimension of the body, while it is the shear stress which is responsible for the change in the shape of the body. This question has been asked so many times. So always remember, it is the shear stress which is responsible to change the shape of the body. That is very important. Okay. Now, since the shape or the dimension of the body has been changed, it means some changes occurred. So how to measure the changes? So these changes is nothing but is known as an strain. Okay, these changes are in strain. So what is the strain? Strain is nothing but it is the ratio of change in length to its original length. Okay, so this is known as your strain. So strain is nothing but it's the ratio of the change in length to original length. Means whatever be the changes, how much change has been occurred with respect to its original length is basically known as your strain. Isn't it? So now to summarize it, when a force is applied to a particular body, then the stresses will develop due to the internal resistance, and because of this stresses, because of this external load, the body will get deformed, and deformation will take place in of two types. one is your change in dimension and other one is the change in the shape. Okay, so this deformation takes place. So what is the actual deformation with respect to the original? How much the body has been deformed, that will be checked with the help of the strain. Okay, and what is the internal resistance have been developed, that will be given with the help of stresses. Now the types of stresses. In types of stresses, we have already discussed that there are two types of stresses. One is your normal stress and other one is your shear stress. Okay, now come to the normal stress. As we have already discussed in normal stress, that force is nothing but it is perpendicular to area of cross section. Okay, now this normal stress or the applied force is of two types. One is your tensile and other one is your compressive. नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस को हम लोग जनरली ग्रीक वर्ड सिग्मा से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. ओके, अब ये टेंसाइल नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस एंड कॉम्प्रेसिव नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस क्या होता है? अब देखिए, सपोज करते हैं ये एक हमारा सिलेंड्रिकल रॉड है और इस पे हम एक फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. So it can be possible that this force will be applied in this way. So what is the tendency of this force? The tendency of this force is to increase the length of the cylindrical rod in the direction of applied load. Is it? So always remember that whenever a force has a tendency to increase its length in the direction of applied load, we say that it will develop the normal tensile stress. So what is the normal tensile stress? When the tendency of applied force, applied load is to increase its dimension in the direction of force or load. Okay, so in the direction of load. So this is your tensile stress. Then developed stress is known as tensile stress. और जनरली इसको हम लोग सिग्मा टी से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. ठीक है, और ऑलवेज रिमेंबर साइन कन्वेंशन इसके लिए है कि सिग्मा टी विल ऑलवेज बी कंसीडर्ड एज ए पॉजिटिव. दिस इज द साइन कन्वेंशन फॉर टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस. नाउ कम टू द कॉम्प्रेसिव. तो कॉम्प्रेसिव अब क्या होगा कि व्हेन a load is applied to a member and the tendency of this load is to compress, है ना. अब इसकी देखिए, अब इसको हम ऐसे फोर्स लगा रहे हैं तो इसकी टेंडेंसी क्या होगी? इसको कॉम्प्रेस करने की. कॉम्प्रेस करना इन द सेंस कि लेंथ को हम लोग कम कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो व्हेन द टेंडेंसी of load is to decrease the length in the direction of load, compressive stresses will develop. ओके, इसको हम लोग जनरली सिग्मा सी से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। सिग्मा नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस है, नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस में टेंसाइल है कि कॉम्प्रेसिव है, और साइन कन्वेंशन सिग्मा के लिए होता है कि सिग्मा इज ऑलवेज कंसीडर्ड एज ए नेगेटिव, है ना, कि सिग्मा हमेशा निगेटिव, हम लोग इसको साइन कन्वेंशन को लेंगे, और ये टेंसाइल स्ट्रेस होगा जिसको कि हम लोग हमेशा पॉजिटिव कंसीडर करेंगे। अब देखिए, अब चूंकि आपका ये टेंसाइल है और कॉम्प्रेसिव है, तो ऑब्वियसली विद द application of this load the value of the length will automatically change in the application direction. So obviously there is a deformation, and once there is a deformation then a strain will be developed. So when there is a normal stresses is there, so normal strain will develop. So normal stress will develop the normal strain, normal stress is there, as a result it is normal strain is there. ओके, नॉर्मल स्ट्रेन को हम लोग अपसाइलन से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। अब ये नॉर्मल स्ट्रेन, अब चूंकि हमारे पास स्ट्रेस, नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस दो तरह से है, इट इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स, वन इज टेंसाइल एंड अदर वन इज योर कॉम्प्रेसिव। सो नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस इज ऑल्सो ऑफ टू टाइप्स, वन इज योर टेंसाइल नॉर्मल स्ट्रेन दैट इज अपसाइलन एन, एंड दिस इज अपसाइलन टी, अपसाइलन एन इज द नॉर्मल and this is epsilon c, that is the compressive. Okay, as we have told you that strain is what? Change in length divided by original length. Okay, so when it is tensile, and what is the change in length? Now see, that is final length minus initial length divided by initial length. This is the change in length. So when the force is tensile, then obviously the final length will be greater than to the initial length, so epsilon t will be positive. Okay, and when it is compressive, then the tendency of the force is to reduce the length. It means the final length will be less than to its initial length, so the value of epsilon is negative. So compressive strain, this compressive strain, this value will always be negative. Okay, so this is the application of when a force is applied perpendicular to the cross sectional area. Then normal stress of two types, either compressive or tensile, and on the same side it is the normal strain will be developed. This is the normal strain. Normal strain is of two types, that is the tensile or compressive strain. That all depends on the application of the load, ki how the load is being applied, whether it is the tensile load or it is the compressive load. Okay, now come to the shear stress. So since we have already told that shear stress is the stress when a force is parallel to your area, shear stress. Shear stress is when force is parallel to cross sectional area, so we can say that this is your shear stress. Now in case of shear stress, what will happen? The body will distort, as I already told, it is only the shear stress which is responsible. So this distortion can be calculated in the form of the angle, ki how much angle the body has been distorted. So let this angle is your, let us assume it is gamma. Gamma is the angle of distortion, and L is total length in between initial stage. So what is tan gamma? This is your distortion length, change in length. Okay, suppose this change in length is x. So what is tan gamma? Tan gamma is nothing but it is change in length, that is x divided by original, that is x divided by original. This is your change in length divided by L. So this gamma, that is the angle of distortion, is basically known as shear strain. Okay, and shear stress generally we represent by the word tau. Okay, so whenever there is a shear stress, shear strain, whenever there is a normal stress, normal strain. So if we summarize all these things, so we see that when there is a body, then force will be applied on body, then obviously stress will develop. This stress is of two types: normal stress, that is either tensile or it is compressive. Both are your normal stress. Stress that is normal. I am writing sigma n, and as a result, what will happen? Here the strain will be developed, that is the either epsilon T or epsilon C. This is the strain, that is epsilon normal, when the force is perpendicular to area, and when force is parallel to area, like this, then shear stress tau will be developed, and here it is shear strain gamma will be developed, that is shear stress and here it is shear strain. Okay, so we have seen in this lecture that when a force is applied, then how the stresses will be developed, as a result how the strain will be developed. But while calculating this value of the stresses, always remember in stresses what we have considered. We have considered that it is force divided by the area of cross section. We are always considering the original area of cross section. Okay, but when the deformation takes place, suppose हम लोग ने इस रॉड को some force से tensile force apply कर रहे हैं, then what will happen? The length will increase. Since the volume is remain same, then what will happen? The area of cross section will reducing. So as the value of the area of cross section is reducing and force applied is the same, then what will happen? Obviously the stresses will increase. Okay, so the actual value at any instant of the value, the stresses developed, that is known as true stress, and the same time the strain developed is known as true strain. अभी तक हम लोगों ने जो स्ट्रेस और स्ट्रेन हम लोगों ने कैलकुलेट करा है, यह मेरा इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेस और इंजीनियरिंग स्ट्रेन है, और नॉमिनल स्ट्रेस नॉमिनल स्ट्रेन है. अब हम बात कर रहे हैं ट्रू स्ट्रेस एंड ट्रू स्ट्रेन की, कि what is true stress and what is true strain. This is again very important one. True stress and true strain. Now let us assume कि मैं ट्रू स्ट्रेस को सिग्मा टी से रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूं और इसको एप्सिलॉन टी से. Don't get confused that this sigma t and here also it is sigma t. यहाँ पे sigma t that is the tensile stress की बात हम लोग कर रहे हैं. अभी यहाँ पे हम true stress की बात कर रहे हैं कि what is true stress. Okay, these are only the notations. तो true stress and true strain. So what is true stress? True stress is nothing but it is force divided by instantaneous area. So this is nothing but it is force divided by, let us assume at any time the area of cross section is A. Okay, and what is the true strain? This true strain is nothing but it is change in length at any instant divided by length at that instant. ओके, अब सपोज करते हैं ये हमारे पास एक कोई रॉड है और इस रॉड की एक्चुअल लेंथ है L0 और एरिया है A0 और इस पे हमने कोई F फोर्स अप्लाई किया. So by the application of this F force, what will happen at any instant of time? You see, this is the length and area of this rod is L and A respectively, and the applied force is F. ओके, हमने टेंसाइल लोड लगाया है तो ऑब्वियसली इसकी in the direction of application of force, the length will increase but the area will reduce because the volume is same. Since the volume is same, then what will happen? A naught L naught is nothing but it is A into L. This is the initial volume and this is the final volume. Okay, so this is our first equation. Now come to calculating the true strain. How true strain can be calculated? So sigma T is nothing but it is force per unit area at that instant, that is F upon, we can write as A naught into A naught divided by A. We can write it. Okay. So what is F upon A naught? F is your force and A naught is our original area. So this is your engineering stress. Now I am writing as sigma. This is engineering stress or nominal stress which we have already calculated, and that is A naught divided by A. This is our first equation. Second equation, I am sorry. First यहाँ है, ये second equation हो गई. Similarly, now come to epsilon T. So what is epsilon T? Epsilon T at any instant of time, let the increase in the length is dl, and at that time it was length L, and from initial stage Li, L naught to finally suppose ये L F length तक जाएगी. So this is our true strain. So what is this value? This is nothing but it is ln of L from L naught to Lf. So this can be written as ln Lf upon L naught. Okay. So epsilon T is ln. What is Lf and L naught? Lf is your final length, means initial length plus total change in length divided by initial length L naught. So this is nothing but it is L naught 1 plus delta L, that is total change in length divided by L naught. What is the total change in length divided by the L naught? This is nothing but it is your nominal strain. So epsilon T is ln 1 plus epsilon, where this epsilon is your nominal strain. So this is the relation between true strain and nominal strain. Okay. Now from equation 2, what is true strain? Epsilon T. This epsilon T is, sorry, sigma T is this sigma into A naught upon A. A naught upon A, what we can write is sigma. And how A naught upon A? So A naught upon A is nothing but it is L final divided by L initial. So this is Lf upon L naught. So sigma T is equal to sigma. And what is Lf upon L naught? We have already checked where Lf upon L naught comes to be 1 plus epsilon. So this is 1 plus epsilon. So this is the true stress, how true stress is related to the nominal stress and nominal strain. Now with the help of these two equations, so you see that 1 plus epsilon is nothing but it is e raised to the power epsilon T, and now putting this value of 1 plus epsilon into this, so you will get that sigma T is equal to sigma times e raised to the power epsilon T. So this is very, very important result, that is how the true stress is related to the true strain of a body. Okay. So this is the relation between true stress and true strain. So the detail of the true stress, the detail of the stress strain relation, their curve, we will discuss in the next lecture. So we will discuss the other parts also. Okay. Thank you.